I'm sure your mom or a loved one has taught you many wonderful things, but her advice about credit is probably going to lower your score. Find out what happens when you pay off a loan in this episode. It will blow your mind. You didn't do the sound effect.
I didn't know you wanted me to.
In the spirit of Mother's Day, instead of doing what most people do and talk about all the nice things their mom has done for them, we're going to start it off, or I wanted to ask you a question. What is some bad advice that your mom has given you?
Nothing.
She's not watching.
She is watching. I honestly I can't think of anything.
How about you should marry him?
Well.
I can just imagine what our kids are going to say in 20 years with that question. What bad advice did my mom give me?
They're going to say exactly what I just said.
There you go. So let's pretend that the kids ask you,
yeah.
Mom, should I pay off a loan as quickly as possible? What would you say?
Yeah.
You would think that that's great advice, but I've seen your score drop over 40 points just because you followed your mother's advice and you've paid off a vehicle as quickly as possible.
I'd like to take back my answer.
Nope, too bad. It's all recorded now.
Cool.
So there's a huge difference between good active credit and good old credit. When you pay off a loan or a lease, It is moved from good active credit to good old credit.
Okay.
And what's important about the good old credit is it does stay on your credit report for 6 years, at least 6 years, but it doesn't improve your score anymore.
I'm shocked. This is not going well.
This is great. All right.
Maybe that's why Grandpa's so angry in that picture.
There you go.
He's like, listen, it's been over 6 years since our good active credit has been put into our good old credit.
That's exactly why he's sus.
No, oh my gosh. You didn't even use it in the right.
So let's say you're driving the vehicle and you get in a car accident.
Okay.
You don't sound surprised by this.
It's happened.
No comment.
Have you seen my van?
Yes. We'll show pictures of the van.
Okay.
Anyways, if you got in a serious accident and the loan is written off, then that would also count as not necessarily paying it off, but the loan would be closed or paid off on your credit report, and that would also lower your score. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm just trying to...
So that would make Grandpa unhappy as well.
Why is that a bad thing? Maybe you just didn't explain it very well. Probably. So...
That's why she's here.
If you have a vehicle that has a loan, you get into a car accident, it totals your vehicle.
Yeah.
The loan is gone.
Yes.
So you don't have to pay it back.
No.
Well, that's like, when you say the loan is gone...
Yes.
What does that mean to you? To me, if you say the loan is gone, that means that it's gone. It never happened.
Well, it's on your credit report for 6 years.
Okay, cool. But am I paying it?
No.
So...
But it lowers your score.
But how is this a bad thing?
Because your score's lower.
Yeah, but like how much does it lower it?
Like 40 points.
Not 40. If I knew how to read a credit report, maybe this would be...
a big deal. So at least we've clarified that it lowers your score and that's why it's bad. Which is not common sense because you would assume, based on your mom's advice, or any rational thinking, that when you pay off a vehicle, that would be a good thing for your score.
But it is a good thing. Here's why it's a good thing. It goes from good active credit or a loan or credit. And then it goes to the good old credit.
Yes.
Which you have 6 years to have this on your report.
Right.
Within that 6 years, you're probably going to be getting another loan. So it's just going to keep revolving. Insert drawing here. But I feel like it's just going to keep happening.
Circle of life? Is that what you're...
Pretty much.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, yes, it's not the end of the world.
Okay. Did I just ruin your podcast?
No. But if you were going for, let's say, a mortgage, and you just paid off a vehicle loan, and now you've lowered your score 40 points, and now it's not high enough to get approved, that's where it becomes a bad thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, but it also doesn't make sense. Then why do you want a loan? Maybe you don't want loans.
It's okay to have loans, but one thing that's important, and we'll cover this in a second, is when you want to pay it off or different tricks around doing that, there is some ways to do it better.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay.
See? Mind blown? All right. Have you seen that pie graph?
No, I haven't. Sorry. I don't read a lot of credit literature.
It's in my book.
That's awkward.
So this pie graph is very common or popular for those that would actually read anything financial. But it outlines the different categories that make up your credit score. And a lot of professionals will use this to outline what matters most to your score. So when you look at the graph, based on the ratios that are on there, it would appear that it's not a big deal to pay off a vehicle because the length of credit is only 15%, and they don't put it as important as paying your bills on time or just what your balances are. However, based on studying thousands of credit reports, but what I've noticed is that it can be a huge drop, and if you're not aware of it, then it can cause some issues. This pie graph has been around since, pretty much over 35 years. So it's been around a while. But they haven't changed the ratios. So that's one of the problems with credit and the advice out there is it's a little outdated. They even updated the Canadian Food Guide, but they still haven't updated this graph.
So let me get a note. Okay.
So I'm doing a just border meter, just so you're aware.
Are you really?
Yeah, on the screen.
You're going to see my eyes glaze over.
So in addition to it lowering the score, one thing that's even more important is the how underwriters look at it. Do you know what an underwriter is?
Yeah. That's underwriter is somebody who reviews your credit.
Yes.
Yep.
You got it.
Yeah.
So the person that is looking at your credit application when you're applying for any kind of financing at all, they have some requirements in addition to a high score. And one of those requirements is having active credit accounts. So if you just paid off a vehicle loan in addition to lowering your score, then you could also get into a situation where you are declined just based on the fact that you don't have enough good established active credit. Make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
Cool.
So how many points does it actually lower, on your credit report?
There is no set amount. It all depends on everything else that's happening on your credit file. So some things to keep in mind is the more active credit accounts you have, when you close a loan or pay it off or refinance or whatever, then that will lower your score less.
Okay.
Because there's other accounts there to boost up your score. But the longer that loan has been around, the more it's going to hurt your credit score. Okay. So if it's been open for 7 years and you pay it off, then you'll see a more significant drop in your score than if you only had it for a year and paid off.
Okay. So with a car loan, there's obviously an end date.
Yes.
You can only have a car loan for X amount of time. Then what are you supposed to do? how do you get a car loan without lowering your credit?
So that's a great question. And
But don't answer. Don't ask that question.
No, that's a great question. The key is that you want to be in control of when it happens. So you just don't want to do it right before you go for any major financing.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going and purchasing a house, then paying off a loan right before you go and apply, or while
That's
you're
interesting, because you would think that, hey, it would be better for me to like pay off my loan because I'm going to try and get this mortgage, but I guess not.
And if you have a mortgage professional that is suggesting that you pay off a vehicle or pay it off, I understand why they're saying that, because then you can qualify for more. But there is some tricks around doing that, and I explain that in more detail in a different video, specifically for mortgage professionals, so they understand some ways to get around that. But that's in the show notes or the more information button at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about like refinancing? Is that an option? This question was fed to me.
So, yes, Jesselyn, refinancing your vehicle is something that you can do to lower your interest rate.
Okay.
And Jess's board meeting is going like out of control here. So we're going to end there and say the refinance does affect the score the exact same way as if it's going to be.
Refinance. I know what that means. It means, no, I don't know what it means. Like you would just refinance your vehicle.
Yeah, so you have a vehicle.
To extend your loan.
Yeah, extend, or you're getting a new vehicle and you're just kind of extending it. Anything you do with a vehicle loan would, other than pay it down, would change that.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so the refinance would effectively have the same effect to the score as if you paid it off.
Okay.
All right. As a recap, Jess, take it away. The test. Okay. What did you learn from this episode?
I learned that you do not want to pay off a loan before qualifying for a mortgage or anything big, because it will lower your score unless you decide to refinance. Then you don't.
No. Read the script.
Okay. So what I learned is that your mom's advice of paying off the vehicle loan or lease will improve your cash flow and save you paying interest, but it will lower your score, credit score. I did not learn that. What?
So it lowers your score, and if you do need to pay it off, there are certain times to do that. If you do it right before financing, then you definitely want to watch the other episode or link into the show notes to learn the trick on how to do that.
Yeah.
Next.
If you get in an accident or refinance your loan or lease, it will also lower your score.
You're a natural at this.
Once the loan is paid or closed, it is moved. Oh, I knew this. Once your loan is paid or closed, it is moved from good active credit to old good credit, which doesn't help the score anymore.
And Grandpa does not like it.
No, he does not. And how much your score will lower depends on how long the loan or lease has been around and how many other credit accounts you have left that are well established.
Nice.
I did learn that.
Nice.
Now it says, Richard, say something nice about your mom.
No, you're supposed to say something nice.
I just said it.
I love you, Mom. You made me who I am today. Aren't you proud? My own YouTube channel. Like every other 13-year-old on TikTok.
Oh, man.
Okay. Say something nice about your mom.
Mom, thank you for everything.
For saying that she should marry me. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that.
Oh. The light
Eureka.
just went on.
If you have questions, comment below, and I will do my best to respond as quickly as possible whenever Jess is not telling me to do other things.
I will look through the likes, shares, and comments to see if this episode was a complete waste of our date night or not.
It's never a waste of time talking about credit.
Oh, wow.
You can check out exclusive content on our social media sites listed here.